Hey, Chandler Bolt here, and in this lesson, we're going to talk about how to go from mind map to outline. For some people, this can be a little bit of a confusing process, and it's kind of tough to take all those jumbled thoughts that you've put on a page and transfer that into a clear outline that you can follow to easily write your book. But we're going to show you how to break through that process and how to do it pretty easily. So if you followed the last lesson, you've got your mind map, and it may look something a little bit like this. It may be kind of crazy all over the place. Maybe it looks a little bit like this. This is a different one. Or maybe it even looks like this. You can see these are all three examples from some of our past students, and you can see this is on a big board, and there's just jumbled thoughts, circles, lines all over the place. And I'm guessing yours probably looks pretty messy. But what we're going to talk about is how to go from messy to just a little less messy. And that's really what going from mind map to outline is all about. It'll still be a little messy, but we can live with it. It's going to give us a starting point. Don't worry about making it perfect. It's just going to serve as an outline for us to use moving forward. So there's 3 steps when you're going from mind map to outline, and 3 steps to kind of organizing all of your thoughts into a book format. Step 1, you're going to organize your mind map into groups, or we also call them sections. Step 2, you're going to organize these sections to create the order for your book. So once you've got your thoughts grouped into sections or groups of thoughts, you've got all these thought groups, maybe there's 5, 6, 7, who knows how many, then you're going to organize those in the order that you want to present them in the book. And then finally, you're going to break up these sections into the individual chapters that need writing. Okay? And I'm going to give you an example of this. We went over this in the last video, and I told you that this was kind of our second iteration of a mind map because we did it on a big board. And so this is kind of what your beginning outline is going to look like. You don't have to do it on a big board like this. We just did this because it sparked more creativity for us and it was a lot more fun. But as you can see, this is basically, we did our whole mind map process on paper and just got all of our ideas. Then we started putting it up on this big board. And if you look at the top of the big board, you can see we had them in 5 different sections. We had mindsets, actions, influences, momentum, and money. You can barely read the last 2. We have them in different sections. Then you can see we started moving things around. We started grouping things, drawing lines, arrows, all kinds of stuff. And this is what transitioned into a full outline that we would just look up at the whole time. We wrote this book in a week, so we were pretty fast paced. But we would just look up at this big board and say, all right, there's the next chapter. Put some time on the clock. Let's write it. So you can see, if you kind of look, you can see the chapter numbers within the sections, like the most prevalent ones in the middle. Sorry, I don't have a pointer, or I'd be pointing at this stuff. But number 1 is work ethic. Number 2 is the do it now, or make a plan, work the plan. And you can see how, like, if, for example, right there, do it now and make a plan, work the plan, those were 2 separate ideas that we had. And then we saw through this process, oh, okay, this would work well as a chapter together. And so we grouped them together. And you can kind of see how we did that with several other things. Like for chapter 1, work ethic, and we drew a line over to many, many successes. So we said we'll put that in the introduction. So that's really what this process is all about, is taking that big, jumbled mess of a mind map that you have, where you've just gotten all of your ideas out of your head and onto paper, and starting to organize them in a way that you're going to be able to easily write your book. And it's going to be a little bit difficult at first, but as you get through the process, just start doing it. Start with what I was saying here, organize it into groups or sections. Organize these sections in the order that you want to present them, and then break up the sections into chapters. And you'll probably like just keep doing that. Like, I think, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we weren't even sure the order we wanted to put these 5 sections. So we kind of debated about that. We put it up there, and then we later changed it. And so it's kind of fluid, but by the end of this process, you want to have a pretty hardcore outline and just a great starting point, because when you start writing your book, you can just go exactly through these chapters like a checklist, and just check chapters off as you write them.